Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the digestive system in Herdmania, that is the one of the representative organism from the Urochordata. The digestive system of Herdmania, it includes alimentary canal and the digestive glands. This alimentary canal or the digestive system is a coiled tube and it consists of mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine, rectum, and anus. The basic plan of the digestive system or alimentary canal, it is very resemble to the other chordates. The buccal cavity is lined with ectoderm and is also called as a stomodium, and other parts of alimentary canal are lined with the endoderm. This is the digestive system or the figure showing the digestive system or the alimentary canal of the word that is a Herdmania. That digestive system, it starts from the branchial aperture or mouth, then it leads to the word buccal cavity, then buccal cavity it leads to the word these two zones, that is a word the peripharyngeal bands, that is this is the prebranchial zone before the word the gills, and after this is the gills or the stigmata where the what the most of the portion of the body is occupied by this, and this pharynx region then it leads to the esophagus, and this esophagus it leads to the where that leads to the stomach, and that next to that that is the intestine, rectum, and the anus. And along with this digestive tract or the alimentary canal, the one of the important gland or the digestive gland is the what? The liver. These are the what? The parts which are included in the alimentary canal, that are what? Mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine, rectum, and anus. Then first thing, that is the mouth. The mouth or oral aperture or branchial aperture lies at the tip of the siphon. This is the mouth which lies at the what, that is the tip of the siphon, or this we called it as a branchial aperture, and it is bordered by the four lips, and these lips are formed by the taste or the tunic which opens into the mouth cavity. This is the what? The branchial aperture or mouth, and it is formed by the tunic or the taste covering, and it having the opening, and that opening that we called it as a mouth, or it is the branchial aperture, and this branchial aperture it opens into the buccal cavity. Then the next thing which comes after the word that is a mouth is the what? The buccal cavity. And this buccal cavity, it is situated in the branchial siphon region. It is a short and about 1 centimeter long, and it is a laterally compressed tube. It is lined with a thin extension of the taste and outer ectoderm of the body wall. The circular muscles form the strong branchial sphincter at the base of buccal cavity, and it contracts and closes the cavity when required. Then the buccal cavity that just above the sphincter and at the junction of the what? The buccal cavity and the pharynx. Means in between buccal cavity and the pharynx there is a ring-like structure or ring-like delicate hair-like structure, and these structures are called as what? The tentacles. These are the delicate structures, and here these are present, and these are called as a what? The tentacles. And these tentacles, these stand at right angle to the wall of the buccal cavity. If you observe the structure of this, the tentacle, see the what? This is a buccal branchial aperture, and this is a what? The buccal cavity, and this buccal cavity leads into the what? The sphincter. It is what supported by the what the circular muscles, and this after that this after this pincher there are the what the tentacles. These tentacles are placed right angle to the what the tentacles are present right angles to the wall of the buccal cavity and nearly meet each other in the center. They form a sieve-like structure which allows only microscopic food particles to enter into the pharynx along with the water current. These tentacles are of four sizes, that is 8 to 10, about 5 in length, then 8 to 10 tentacles about 2 to 3 in length, 16 of less than 1.5 in length, and 32 of 0.5 in length. And these tentacles alternate with each other. Each tentacle it bears a pair of a large number of paired lateral branches, that is in the pinnate appearance. These are the what? The tentacles from the first tentacle up to the what, that is a 12 tentacle, and these tentacles are present just after the what, that is a the buccal cavity. These are the tentacles and these are present after the what? The buccal cavity, or the what, that is the after the it is followed by the, that is the sphincter is followed by the what? These tentacles. Then next to these tentacles or these tentacles, these these tentacles are supposed to test the quality of water and which is entering into the pharynx, and this buccal cavity it opens into the pharynx. This buccal cavity it opens into the which region? The pharynx region, where the numerous stigmata or the pharyngeal gill slits are there. First, so the first one is a branchial aperture or the mouth, then that leads into the buccal cavity. That buccal cavity, it is then after the buccal cavity there is a sphincter, and sphincter leads into the what, that is a new many tentacles, and these tentacles it leads to the what, the pharyngeal part or the pharynx portion. Then next to this, the pharynx, it is the largest part of the alimentary canal, and it is divided into anterior small and smooth walled zone, and that is called as a prebranchial zone. What is the prebranchial zone? The zone which comes just before the pharyngeal region, and a large posterior branchial sac by two ciliated ridges. These are called as a peripharyngeal bands. If you observe the structure of these, this is the what? The prebranchial zone. That is, this is exactly the branchial zone, and before the branchial zone, that is in between tentacle and the branchial zone, there is a portion, and that portion we called it as a prebranchial zone. And this prebranchial zone it leads into the two bands, and these two bands, one is a what? Anterior peripharyngeal band. This one is anterior peripharyngeal band, and the second one is posterior peripharyngeal band. And in between that these two bands there is a narrow depression, and this narrow depression is called as a what? The peripharyngeal groove. So these are the what? The pharynx, that is the largest part having the prebranchial zone, and it having the two large posterior branchial sac having the two circular ciliated ridges, that we called it as a peripharyngeal band, that is a uh, uh, peripharyngeal bands, and that is the anterior peripharyngeal band and the posterior peripharyngeal band, and it contains a small dorsal tubercle in the mid-dorsal region. This is a small dorsal tubercle in the mid-dorsal region where the what the exactly the pharynx starts. The the two peripharyngeal bands are closely placed and they are running parallel to each other, and there is a narrow groove between these peripharyngeal bands, and that narrow groove is called as a what? The peripharyngeal groove. These the cilia of the groove are shorter than those of the bands. The anterior band forms a complete ring while the posterior band it is interrupted at the mid dorsal and mid ventral points. It joins to the wall of the dorsal lamina and it continues with the endostyle. It joins with the what? Where this it joins with the what? This is a dorsal lamella. It joins with the what? That is a dorsal lamella, and the what? That is it is attached to the what? The endostyle part. Then the next comes the branchial sac or the branchial region or the exactly the what? The pharyngeal region. The branchial region, it looks like a basket. See, you can observe this is the structure or this is the branchial part, and the most of the portion it is occupied by the what? The branchial zone or the branchial region, and these are the what? The branchial folds. These branchial region or the pharyngeal region, it is the largest region and it looks like a porous basket. Its lateral walls are perforated by numerous longitudinal apertures, and these apertures or openings in the branchial sac, these we call it as a gill slits or the stigmata. These openings, these are the small openings in the what? That is this branchial region, and these are called as a stigmata or gill slits. There are near about 2 lakhs of stigmata on each side of the branchial sac, and these are arranged in transverse rows. Each gill slit it having the long cilia on its margin, and these are called as the lateral cilia. They cover the gill slit and prevent the escape of food particle. The gill slits of Herdmania are formed from the larval gill slits. These herdmen and these are formed by the division of the what? The larval gill slits. Water passes from the branchial sac into the what? Atrial cavity. Means from the branchial sac or the pharynx, the water goes to the atrial cavity through these slits, and the inner surface of the lateral walls of the branchial sac is raised to form the broad longitudinal fold that starts from the posterior peripharyngeal band up to the what? Esophageal openings. And these folds, it increases the surface area of the branchial sac for the respiration. And the entire inner surface of the branchial sac, it bears a cilia, and these cilia are called as a frontal cilia, which are shorter than the lateral cilia. So this is the what? The portion showing the what? The endostyle or the how the what? The arrangement of the organs in the what? The Herdmania, that you can observe the what? This is a what? The branchial aperture from where the what? Or the mouth from where the water enters within the body. Then this is a what? Entire thing that it is guarded by the forelip, that is a branchial siphon, and on these branchial siphon there are the what? The branchial tentacles are there, and next to these, this is the what? The dorsal tubercle in the bone mid dorsal region. This is a prebranchial zone that is just before the what? The branchial region. And after this prebranchial zone, the two bands are there. One is the anterior peripharyngeal band, and another one is a what? The posterior peripharyngeal band. And in these between these two, there is a what? The peripharyngeal groove. And next to that, these are the what? The branchial folds which are present into the what? The pharyngeal region. This is the exact pharyngeal region where the what? Branchial folds which are meant for the respiration, and these After that, this opens towards the what the atrium, and next to that you can observe the what in the mid dorsal region there is a what the dorsal lamina is there, and before that there is a dorsal tubercle, and this part is the what the endostyle which runs where the centrally, and the this after this the what the next part after the what the branchial sac is a what the endostyle. This is a what the endostyle part, and this endostyle is what it is nothing but a forerunner of the thyroid gland. It is a narrow groove, then that is called as a hypopharyngeal. As it is below the pharynx, it is called as a hypopharyngeal groove, or it is called as a endostyle, and it measures about 8 centimeter in Herdmania, and it having the walls the anteriorly the walls of peripharyngeal band and endostrial groove remain continuous with the peripharyngeal groove, and in these it having the what the this the at the end or the at the end it is called as a what the retropharyngeal bands. These what are these retropharyngeal bands? This endostyle, it's at the end, it is called as a what? The retropharyngeal band, or the what that is a retropharyngeal groove. And this is a what the endostyle, it is present in the medial part or the medial region. And if you observe the structure of this endostyle, it contains 5 longitudinal tracts of the ciliated cells and 2 cells on each side and one in the middle, and 4 longitudinal tracts of mucus secreting gland cells. This is a endostyle which contains a what? The 5 longitudinal tracts of the ciliated cells. This is a what? The ciliated cells. This is the first longitudinal tract of the ciliated cell. This is another. Then this is the third, and this is the fourth. That is the what? It having the what? The 4 longitudinal tracts, and this one is a what? The fifth one. And therefore, these 4 longitudinal tracts, it having the 5 longitudinal tracts of the ciliated cells, 4 on the sides, and the one in the what that is a median position. And within these, it having the 4 glandular what mucus secreting gland cells which secretes the mucus to which the what the food particles will adhere, and the cilia of the median tract, this is the median tract, and these are the what the long cilia. The cilia of the median tract is very long rather than that of the what the cilia of the what this side or the on the which are present at the site. The endostyle is regarded as a forerunner of vertebrate thyroid gland, and it secretes a mucus complex mucoprotein that contains iodine bound to the amino acid that we called it as a tyrosine. During evolution, this endostyle is supposed to give rise to the what? The thyroid gland, and it forms a what? Iodinized hormone. Then next the structure which comes that we called it as a dorsal lamella. That dorsal lamina it lies to the this dorsal lamina where is there? This is a what the dorsal lamina which is present in the what the central position or the what that is a mid dorsal region, and this dorsal lamina it joins the peripharyngeal groove, and the dorsal lamina it bears a 20 to 30 ciliated tongue-like process, and these are called as a languates. These hang into the cavity of the branchial sac, and these are remain curved to the right side and collectively form a groove or gutter through which the food is transported to the esophagus. Means the dorsal lamina it having the 20 to 30 ciliated tongue-like processes that we called it as a languates, and these languates are remain curved to the right side of the groove or gutter through which food is transported towards the what the esophagus. If you observe the structure of the dorsal lamina, this is the what? The dorsal lamina, and this through this dorsal lamina, from the food which is present in the pharynx, it is caught by the what? The mucus of the what? Intestine and transported to the esophagus. So this is then the next comes the what? The esophageal area. Behind the dorsal lamella, there is a small circular area, and that area is called as a what? Esophageal area. It lacks a fold and stigmata, and it contains two semilunar leaves that guards the esophageal opening. These are the what? The dorsal lamina, or that is these are called as a what? Languates, which are supposed to carry the what? The food particle towards the what? The esophagus. Then next to that, there are the branchial sacs or the gills, and the how is the what? These are the what? The blood supply. These are the gills or the gill openings or the gill slits, and even these gill slits are provided with the what? The these blood vessels. These are the what? The stigmata or the openings or the gill slits, and these are supported by the longitudinal blood vessels, and these longitudinal blood vessels, they are traversed by the what? Intrastigmatic blood vessel. What are these? There are the what? In between the stigmata there is a what? The blood vessel that we call it as the interstigmatic blood vessel, and which traverses the gills. These are called as a what? Intrastigmatic blood vessels, and at the base there are the what? Transverse blood vessels. These intrastigmatic blood vessels, it traverses or crosses the what? Interstigmatic blood vessel in what? That is a 90-degree, and these cross each other at right angles to each other. Then after this blood supply, the next it goes to the what? The after the what? That is the esophagus. And esophagus is what? It is a narrow, thick wall tube, and it runs dorsally for short distance and then runs toward the posterior end of the body. And this esophagus, this is the what? The structure of the esophagus or the histology of the esophagus, which is what? The guarded by the what? That is inner lining. It is covered by the ciliated groove, and it having the thick muscular wall, and this is a what? The esophageal cavity. Then after esophagus, its inner lining is ciliated and contains four ciliated grooves. And these four ciliated grooves, this is the 1, 2, 3, and 4 ciliated grooves. This directs the food material towards the stomach. After the esophagus, the next organ, that is a what? The stomach. It is a what? The thin wall tube-like structure, and it is somewhat little wider than the what? Esophagus, and in this stomach it opens into the intestine. This is the histological structure of the what? That is a the stomach. It showing the what? That is a in the stomach, the important gland, it is the what? The digestive gland, that is a what? The pylori gland, and this is a what? The ampulla of the pylori gland having the what? That is a blood vessel, and the what? That is a gastric epithelium which secretes a various digestive juices. The number of ducts of the two liver lobe also open into the stomach, and the wall of stomach, it contains a network of tubules of the pyloric gland, and this pyloric gland, it secretes each the what? The its inner lining is without fold, and it contains a what? The tall glandular epithelial cells, and these epithelial cells are supposed to secrete the gastric juices. Then comes the what? Intestine, and this intestine is a what? U-shaped tube, and its proximal descending limb runs toward the ventral side. The distal ascending limb extends toward the dorsal side, and it opens into the rectum. The pylori gland, it opens into the intestine by the single duct, and the lining of intestine, it consists of mucus secreting gland cells or the absorptive cells. If you observe the what that is the structure of these are the what? This is the what? Esophagus that leads into the what? Stomach, and then intestinal loop. Here is the what? One digestive gland is there around the what? Stomach. That is the what? The right lobe of liver and the left lobe of liver, which secretes the digestion or the poor digestive juices into the what? The stomach. Whereas the what? The stomach having the another gland, that is the what? The pyloric gland. Then the next to this, the alimentary canal, or after discussing the entire this intestine, the last portion, that is a rectum, which is short, relatively narrow tube, and it opens into the cloacal part through the opening, and that anus is guarded by the four leaves, and that releases its all undigested content into the what? Arterial chamber, and which will be passed outside by the what? Arterial opening. The esophagus, stomach, intestine, and rectum lie on the left side of the what? Branchial sac. Then the two important glands which are present in the digestive system, that is, one is the liver and another one is a what? The pyloric gland. The liver is a what? The chocolate colored gland. This is a liver. It is a chocolate color gland, and this chocolate color gland, it is present, this chocolate colored gland is present towards the what? This the near the stomach, and this liver is a large lobe, and each tubule contains a glandular epithelium. 10 or 11 ciliated ducts arise from the liver that open separately into the stomach. The secretion of liver contains the enzymes like amylase, lipase, and the weak protease, which helps in the digestion of the starch, then proteins, and the lipids. The next gland, that is a pylori gland. The pylori gland, it consists of much branched tubules which ramify in the walls of the stomach and the intestine. And these pylori gland, the ends of the fine branches dilate into the ampulla, which can be seen into the what? This, which can be seen into the what? The stomach. This is the what? The pylori gland. We can see it in the, and these are the what? The ampulla of the pylori gland, which can be seen in the intestine, and it opens into the middle of the proximal limb of the intestine on its branchial side. The function of pylori gland is not well understood, but it probably acts like a pancreas in the vertebrates. This is the what? The liver lobe, or the section of the liver lobe, and this is the liver ceca and the cavity of the liver ceca, where the what? The digestive juices are, and this is the glandular epithelium of the what? The liver. Then the next comes the feeding mechanism. As all tunicates are the what? That is a filter feeders. These Herdmania is also the filter feeder. The they remove the minute planktonic food organisms like algae, then diatoms, along with the water current through the pharynx. Then water current is produced by the beating of the lateral cilia, which are present at the margins of the pharynx or the stigmata, and enormous quantity of water is filtered for the food. A few centimeter of or very small organism that of the specimen, it of the what, that is a phallucia, it passes near about 173 liters of the water through the body in 24 hours, and the water current enters the pharynx through the mouth and then buccal cavity, and these water, it leaves through the stigmata, it baths all the pharynx, and then the water, after bathing the gills, it comes to the atrium, from where it passes outside through the atrial aperture. Then the branchial tentacles form a fine sieve and allow the only microscopic food particles to enter toward the pharynx. The endostyle, which is present just below that is called as a hypopharynx, that is below the pharynx, it secretes a huge quantity of the mucus, which which what the to which the what the food particles get attached, and then these trapped mucus film or particles then passed on towards the what the dorsal lamina, and from that dorsal lamina its food is transported towards the what the esophagus by the beating of the what that is the peripharyngeal groove. The escape of food particles through the stigmata is prevented by the what the lateral cilia. Then the digestion and absorption of the food. The food reaches the stomach through the esophagus. The stomach is a site of extracellular digestion. The stomach receives the various digestive juices like the amylase which digest the starch, protease which digest the proteins, and lipase that acts on the fats or the lipids, and these enzymes digest the food, and there is no intracellular digestion in the herdmania. Then in the intestine, digestion of the food is completed by the secretion of the pyloric gland, and the digested food which is present in the what the intestine, it is absorbed, and remaining undigested matter is passed on to the rectum, from where it is excreted into the cloaca of the atrial cavity through the anus. And from atrium, the fecal matter is shot 10 to 15 centimeter away through the atrial aperture by occasional contraction of the body, and food is stored in the form of the starch grains in the cells of liver, stomach, and intestine. So, the digestive gland or the digestive system of the herdmania, in a nutshell, if you observe the digestive system of herdmania, it comprises or it starts from the mouth, then the comes after this mouth, what comes there is a what the branchial aperture, or that mouth is also called as a what the branchial aperture, and this branchial aperture, it leads into the what the this branchial aperture, it leads into the what the prebranchial zone. Then this is a branchial zone. In between these peribranchial bands, or the what anterior prebranchial and the what that is a prebranchial bands are there, and these are the stigmata that leads into the, and where these at the mid dorsal position there is a what the endostyle and the dorsal lamina along, and after that that dorsal lamella leads into the intestine esophagus, and that leads into the stomach, then intestine, then rectum, and the anus, which opens into the what the atrial chamber, and the two glands, that is a what one is a liver that opens toward the stomach, and another gland that is a pyloric cica or the pyloric gland that opens into the intestine, which helps in the digestion of the food.